Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today we're going to be reviewing the loose cannon telesnap reconstruction for episode 3 of The Space Pirates, the penultimate second Doctor story. First off, the reconstruction looks good, especially knowing that telesnaps don't really exist for it because John Cura was in bad health at the time, I believe passed away soon after. So knowing that the telesnaps that we have for it have had to be created by the people working on the loose cannon reconstructions. It's really impressive that the reconstructions look as good as they do, having to pull, since they really only have episode 2 to pull from. I got to give them props for that. The way they reuse footage where they can with ships and stuff, and the way they use appropriate pictures to show what's going on screen. Like they may use a picture of Troughton from another story, but it fits that moment. You know, the looks on everybody's faces fit what's going on the screen. So it really is nice having a visual representation of the episode, especially considering it's unlikely to get animated, which is a shame because Space Pirates seems like one that would be ripe for animation other than its reputation, because it doesn't seem to have a really big cast. The audio sounds fine to me. I mean, I don't know technically what it's rated, but the audio sounds fine. 3 episodes in. And I think some of the spaceship effects, while some of the ship effects look good, some of the model for the space shuttle, the station effects don't look as great. You could punch those up Macroterra style and really make them pop, because there is a lot of spaceship stuff that happens in this story, so you could really do some fun things with that. I really think the only thing holding this back from being a good candidate for animation is its reputation. It has such a bad reputation. And I will admit, not much really happens in episode 3. It advances the plot a little, but not much. It does feel a bit like a filler episode for the most part. I do like the part when Clancy stops the minnow ship chasing him by dumping the copper needles on him. You know, it's this very lo-fi way of solving a dangerous situation, but he does it because he's old school and experienced enough. He knows how to mess up, you know, the minnow's more advanced technology. Or as another sci-fi series engineer once said, the more they overtake the plumbing, the easier it is to stop up the drain. So I enjoyed that scene. The roughest part for me is the accent that the actor playing Milo Clancy uses. That accent of his is a bit putting me off. I like the character better in novel form, because I've mentioned before I have read the Target novel. I read that first, which is great when watching the reconstructions because I already know the events that happen in the story, so I'm not having to really keep up with what's going on, even though it gives you nice text lettering on the screen to tell you things that you can't pick up by the audio to tell you what's going on. But having read the novel, I know what's happening, which does make the reconstructions easier to follow. But his voice in my head when I was reading the novel is a lot better than the voice we're getting here. It dawned on me as I was watching the recon for episode 3 that he sounds a bit like Jimmy Stewart. I love me some Jimmy Stewart. Harvey is easily my favorite movie of his. I love me some Jimmy Stewart. But he sounds like Jimmy Stewart. I kept expecting him to, you know, talk to the doctor. Dowd, Elwood P. I kept expecting him to do that. And this is my friend Harvey. And once I realized that, I couldn't unhear it. Not much happens. The doctor ends up on the planet he needs to end up on. We also find out where the pirates' home base is. So there are those couple little things. And then you begin to suspect that the one woman in this, the one who runs the mining corporation, is kind of involved in the shady dealings with a conversation she has with the general. And then later, the other main antagonist, the guy, you know, telling his engineer buddy to, oh, okay, we need to divert these pieces of the shuttle over to that planet, which the woman and the general had talked about earlier. So you get that something's going on with her. Again, it feels more like filler. It's fine. I'm enjoying listening to it because I do like hearing the audio performances. And just from what I hear on the audio, they're good for the most part, especially Troughton. It's always a joy to hear Troughton. He just has such a calming voice. You know, I could just have like an audio thing of Troughton and just, you know, put some headphones on and relax. You have a stressful day at work, go home and just put on some Troutman and kick back and listen to the audio of it. He has a very relaxing voice, which I like. Even when he's not saying relaxing things and he's, you know, in a panic. I don't know, I just like listening to Troutman. Troutman's great. So I don't really have a lot to say to this one. I can understand. I'm starting to see why people find it drags a bit, because watching it in this television form, it isn't bad by any means. It's not stellar by any means. It's just kind of going on. It does drag a bit. I do prefer the novelization of it because it just seems like it moves at a better pace, or maybe since I can read it at the speed I want, it's moving at a better pace for me. But episode 3, it's fine. It's nothing stellar, a bit filler, but I did enjoy my watch through of it. It did kind of drag. I had to pause a couple times, go do other things, come back to it. Took me about 2 hours to get through the whole thing. But I liked it. And that's my kind of quick thoughts on episode 3 of the Space Pirates, the loose cannon reconstruction. A good effort, a good reconstruction considering what little they have to work with for it. So I'd like to know, what do you think of the loose cannon reconstruction for episode 3 of the Space Pirates, or the Space Pirates? If you've seen it, comment down below and let me know. Other things to do, don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button and the bell for notifications so you never miss out on another video. I also have a Patreon if you would like to support me that way. There's a link to that down in the description below. My entry level tier is only $2 a month. I want to give a shout out to some of my top tier patrons, Stephen Crane, Colin Coney, and Finn Perkins. I appreciate their support, as I do the support in each and every one of my patrons. It does make my day to have all of y'all. Thank you very much for that. I have a link to my Patreon. I'm getting mixed up. I'm talking too fast. I also have a link to my Amazon wish list down there, and my P.O. box is down there as well if there's anything sci-fi related or otherwise you would like to send me to look at and review. Most importantly, though, thank you for watching.